So what I pretty much predicted last week turned out to be very true in this episode, and I don't know how to feel about that. This is the conclusive episode of Hitsugi no Chaika. I mean, there's of course an OVA coming, as I heard, but half the episode is going to be fan service, like swimsuits type shit. I saw the OVA preview thing, and then the second half is an unknown story, so it's going to be an OVA episode split into two different stories. So this is pretty much the conclusive episode of the series, and I'm just gonna say, I saw it coming. I saw this type of ending coming last week. I talked about it. I said, like, there is no way. Like, I mean, they could take down Gaz and make it seem like it was right without making it feel like it was either too fast or an ass pull. And that's pretty much what this episode was. I mean, we all saw it coming. Now, before I start, going into this episode and start talking about stuff, I just want to say something. This series, the journey of Hitsugi no Chaika, it has been a very fun ride. It hasn't been the most grand journey I've had when it comes to actually watching anime. It hasn't been the best thing of all time. I will not say it has. And I'm definitely not going to say it's probably top 5 or even top 10 of the season. I'm not. But Hitsugi no Chaika has a charm to it. And it definitely made me want to invest my time into the series. And that's exactly what I did. And honestly, I enjoyed the series. I enjoyed the ride, even after this below average episode that kind of leaves me hanging and I just feel very empty. The journey was still good. It was still a good series. It was, for the most part. Now, I'm necessarily not going to say it was anything that I should recommend people to go out of their way to watch. I will say this. This isn't a series I would say you should watch before a series like Fate, or watch a series before Parasite, or, any great series that's aired this year. I would not recommend this series over any others. I wouldn't. But this series is a relaxing series to sit back and watch. If you like a slow-pacing series like the first half, first season, it had a very slow pacing, and honestly, at times, it could be very slow, and it could probably draw you out of the series. But I love the slow pacing of the first season, the slow build-up to the events of Season 2. Season 2 comes around, and we only have, a couple episodes, like 10 to 11 episodes, and it wasn't enough. This series, honestly, should have had 24 episodes first season, and probably, 12 this season. It really should have. The build-up, I felt, was way too rushed. Because, overall, there's so much more that this series could have offered. There's so much more. I know for a fact there could have been a Season 3 to focus entirely on the Emperor Gaz, to take him down. There could have been an entire season focused on that, but it didn't happen. Now, like I said, some Chibits have told me that this is following the light novel. Some Chibits have told me this is following the light novel, and some have told me that they are completely changing events around and this is an anime original ending. I don't know which one is true. I've heard back and forth between both sides, but I don't know which one is true. But here's my thoughts. As an anime-only watcher, do I feel like I am satisfied with this series? Am I personally satisfied with Hitsugi no Chaika once I finish this episode? I want to be honest. No, I don't feel satisfied. I don't. Because there's just so much more this series could have been. So much more potential. Like with the Emperor. I mean, the hype and build-up to the Emperor alone, from the first season to the second season, was unimaginable. It was fucking great hype. Last episode, that hype around Gaz, and even in the middle of this episode, Gaz is just too damn OP. He was way too damn OP, and then you have this, friendship power-up type shit with Neva that takes out Gaz, and I'm like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I'm not really satisfied with the series. I'm not. I mean, I won't look past and say that I hated Hitsugi no Chaika. I'm not gonna say I actually loved Hitsugi no Chaika. I still love it. But I'm not satisfied with this conclusion. I'm not. Now, here's the thing, though. The episode. There's a couple things that just felt very off with this episode, to me personally as a watcher. For one thing, it might seem like it's a little bit nitpicking, but it was very obvious and it made me raise a lot of questions, and I usually pay attention a lot more when it comes to the final episode of a series than any other episode of the series, because it is the conclusive episode that's supposed to tie the knot to the series and wrap up everything. Personally, not a lot of things were really wrapped up. The overall aspect with, the Chaikas, I mean, they never really went fully in-depth what happened to the other Chaikas. They never went in-depth with what happened to Vivi. Why was she only half Chaika? They never went in-depth with that. They never explained why the black Chaika that supposedly lost her legs last episode and exploded like a fucking grape magically got legs in this episode and started fighting Red Chaika and all that. So, I don't understand how she managed to magically form legs off screen, but she did. Maybe she's Fela. I mean, we know she's Fela, but all that. But I mean, still, I would like to see her grow her legs back if she could grow them back. But they didn't show that, so it felt very weird. The overall beginning part of this episode felt very weird with how Black Chaika magically had fucking legs again and was fighting. They didn't really explain how these other Chaikas work. For instance, when did these Chaikas that were working underneath the Black Chaika ever get captured? When did they get turned into puppets? And why was Black Chaika turning them into puppets? Why? There's a lot of questions that are still yet to be answered. Like, the overall Shin conclusion, the battle with, Toru and his, mentor, pretty much, is, senpai. That was so anticlimactic. Like, you see Toru just stab him, and he just walks off. I mean, supposedly you can say he's dead, but we don't know. And it's not the point either. It felt very anticlimactic for this fight. And that should have been one of the major turning points for Toru's character development. You can argue he got character development in this episode, but it felt like it was just anticlimactic. Did not have those emotions for a final episode and final confrontation with your senpai, pretty much. And so, I was disappointed with that. I was. Now, the main issues I have is with Gaz when it comes to this episode, or this series in general. Gaz has always been built up to be a monster. Always a fucking monster. He's always been built up since episode 1. He's been built up. Until last episode, it was unimaginable how strong he was. And I had no idea how anyone could possibly take him down and make it seem like it was logical. And with this episode, my fears were realized. You can say that, yes, Neva took down Gaz, and it makes sense. Yes, Neva's power taking down Gaz, fine, I can kind of understand. But it's not the point of Neva killing Gaz. It's the point of why Neva killed Gaz. There was only a slight conversation in the anime. Now, I don't know necessarily if it was more in-depth in the light novel or not. I don't have any idea. But in the anime, Neva barely had any presence at all in this series. And when Neva was shown, very just untalkative, just couldn't talk, and when she did talk, she only wanted food. She ate food near the shoreline, talked to Chaika said he had personality, and that's pretty much the conversation. And so, you're telling me that this weapon, this AI or whatever, that was created by the Emperor pretty much, sole purpose to be created and become a weapon, supposedly just turned against her Emperor over food. You see what I'm getting at? I don't like that. Like I said, if there was more dialogue to build up this friendship between Chaika and Neva, I could understand. If it, spanned through the majority of the season of 10 episodes, I would be fine to look the other way, and I'll say, okay, fine. But there was literally only, maybe 4 minutes of dialogue between Chaika and Neva, and then Neva just walks off and goes with Guy to go to Gaz and stuff, and then she magically turns against Gaz in this episode to help out Chaika. I felt like that was very ass pull. That there's just a massive ass pull in that. It was. And you can't deny it. It was. And so, the series. Honestly, I won't recommend this series. I personally cannot recommend the series for anyone that wants a good ending. And people could say, Chibi, you can't look past all the other things that happen in the series. No, I can't. But the main thing that makes up a series, in my personal opinion, in my eyes, is the ending. The beginning and the ending are the main central points that should matter the most when writing a series. The ending can leave a bad aftertaste of a series. It easily can. It can easily destroy your impressions of a series with how the ending is handled. And I felt like this ending just very anticlimactic. At the end, we are left hanging if Chaika lost her memories or she didn't lose her memories. We're left hanging like that. And so, we don't know. And that's where it ends. And honestly, I just don't know what to say. It's not a series I will recommend. But it was fun. It was a fun series. I won't look past that and say it wasn't fun. It was a fun series. So, if I was going to rate this series, an average, if I was rating something as if it was just a straight out average series, I would say 5. But I want to give Chaika a 6 out of 10. It was a good series. It was a good series. It met slightly above my expectations. Had a slow beginning, a slightly fast second season, and then a very anticlimactic ending. So, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So, you all have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe.
Shocking truth!